Welcome to Cunningham Piano. I'm Hugh Sung,
And I'm Rich Galasini.
and we're here in our world-famous piano restoration factory where we take old pianos and make them look and sound like they're brand new. We're here in front of one of our latest projects, this beautifully restored Bechstein upright piano that's had quite a history and quite a travel history as well.
It sure has.
So, Rich, tell us a little bit about this amazing piano.
Sure. Well, of course, Carl Bechstein hand-built his pianos in Berlin, Germany. This particular piano, as far as we can tell, was originally purchased in Great Britain. Now, in Great Britain at that time, of course, there were English piano manufacturers, but if you were part of the well-to-do, part of the elite, you would purchase one of a couple of German brands because they were the finest. Bechstein, Bosendorfer, and sometimes Blüthner. So these were the instruments that the elite would purchase. There's something very special about this piano.
It didn't end up in Great Britain.
No, it did not. No. You know that it wound up in a tropical part of India.
That's amazing. So this went all the way to India, but that means something quite different, right? Because the climate, now climates are very, very critical to how a piano will perform or survive. So tell us a little bit about what was done to this piano to help it prepare for a trip to India.
Of course, in the 1880s, that was even more so. Why? Because the glues that were used on the cabinetry, in the action parts, on the soundboard assembly, were all hide glues. That means they were natural. You literally would boil an animal's hide and extract glue from that.
Wow. Okay.
Now, they have advantages, but one huge disadvantage is in heat and humidity, they become liquefied.
Ooh, they literally melt away.
They could literally melt away in a tropical situation, certainly.
So a piano could just literally fall apart because most pianos, as we know them, are held together by glues, right?
That's right. Now, today we use very different glues. It's 21st century technology.
Okay.
But at this time, if you look all along the cabinetry, all of these screws down on the bottom here, and if we look at the action parts, every felt, every piece of leather were actually stitched on in addition to being glued in place. So they would work. There's little brass tacks in pieces of leather, all holding them
That's
together.
literally to hold the piano together.
That's exactly right.
Wow, amazing. It looks beautiful, but I was wondering, what are all these extra screws there for? Now we know why.
That's right.
Because if it's a trip to India.
Now, this also had a tremendous additional cost
Yeah.
in addition to the cost of the piano. So for someone to do this, they had to be well off, and they certainly wanted a beautiful piano in India with them. And this is no exception. This is a gorgeous instrument.
Well, let's take a moment to hear and play a little bit of history and see what this tropicalized Bechstein upright sounds like. For some of you who have been watching my other videos, you know I typically take a work and just play a short excerpt just to get a taste of what a piano sounds like. But in this case, the family that has asked us to restore this piano made a special request for me to play this beautiful Romance by Franz Liszt. Now, normally when I'm looking at a really old upright, I'm thinking, ugh, this is going to sound brassy and brittle and hard. I think you can hear how amazingly warm and luscious this piano sounds. And I have to say, the action feels incredibly light and responsive, lighter than I would typically feel in a modern upright piano. I know a lot of work was done to restore the action. Can you tell us a little bit about what our artisans and technicians did to bring this piano back to life?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, when you're playing an old upright, you're usually playing worn hammers, a soundboard that has perhaps even come apart, has lost its crown, lost its ability to do its work.
Sure.
All that's been replaced. So we want to thank Ray Negron of the Ronson Hammer Company because he made a set of hammers specifically for this piano,
Wow.
knowing that it was going into an 1880s Bechstein. Also, the soundboard has been totally reproduced. So the dimension and the type of spruce used, the dimension of the ribs, the dimension of the bridges, all of that was reproduced. Now, in the original soundboard, there are many, many, many screws, just like the rest of the piano, to hold it together. The good news is we didn't need to do that this time around.
Our modern glues are much more capable.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Now, the action itself is a different design than 21st century pianos. So we had a choice. We could have used a 21st century design and made it fit in this piano. That wasn't a great choice. We have a piece of piano history here. So what we did is we took those original action parts, which were all made out of beautiful hardwoods, even higher grade than what they sold in Berlin, Germany, because they knew it was going to a tropical area. We broke the glue joints, took them apart. We refelted, put all new felts, new leathers, new bushings, of course, new hammers, and then brought it back all together again. That took many, many times the labor that it would do to install a new action, but it was the right thing to do.
Now, what some people may not realize is that each key on the piano is actually a sophisticated machine.
Absolutely,
There are,
yes.
what, 50, 60 parts that go
Per
key?
Yes.
So you have to take all of those parts apart
Yes.
and then reassemble them. It's like archaeological, taking dinosaur bones and putting them back together again.
A bit of a jigsaw puzzle.
Amazing. It's incredible to touch, to play, and to hear history, not only a historical piano, but history restored as if it was brand new. This is the sound that they would have heard.
That's the exciting part for me.
When the piano came right off the boat. Right?
So composers like Debussy, Satie, Brahms,
Chopin.
yes, Chopin, yes. They would have been hearing this sound, not really a modern 21st century upright when they wrote their music.
I almost forgot to ask you, how old is this piano?
Oh, I didn't mention that. This was originally built in 1887.
1887. That's even older than our company, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Amazing. Rich, thank you so much for enlightening us on the incredible history, story, and craftsmanship of this amazing piano that's literally traveled the world.
Yes, well, thank you so much because your playing really brought out all of the beauty of this instrument. And it's a pleasure to do this with you. Thank you so much for asking me to come by.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so that we can let you know whenever we have new content. For Cunningham Piano, I'm Hugh Sung.
And I'm Rich Galasini.
And we'll see you all next time.